As reported, Ukraine uses long-range drones to strike deep into Russian territory, targeting military infrastructure such as airfields, oil refineries, and logistics hubs. Ukraine has also developed long-range missile drone hybrids such as the Palianytsia and Peklo models, featuring turbojet engines and as alternatives to cruise missiles. Recently, Ukrainian strike drones attacked a chemical plant in Russia's Ivanovo Oblast that supplies products for missile engine production, according to reports from the Astra news resource. At least 2 strike drones hit a supply warehouse at the Dmitrievsky Chemical Plant. The plant is located approximately 800 kilometers from Ukraine's state border. The facility reportedly is one of Russia's largest producers of chemical and petrochemical products for civilian markets. However, the plant also participates in supplying Russia's defense industrial complex. The Kiev Post recalls that it happened after that the Kremlin abandoned any pretense at seeking a ceasefire in talks with the US and renewed massive drone and missile strikes against Ukraine. So Kiev also returned to its tactic of attacking deep inside Russia that had been halted for more than a month at the orders of Ukraine's top military commanders as the hope of peace first appeared. It is noted that the number of Ukrainian aircraft breaching Russian airspace has now reached unprecedented levels. In the following 72 hours, Ukraine launched close to 1,000 drones at targets across western Russia in places like Oryol, Kursk, Moscow, Vladimir, Kostroma, Yaroslav, Kaluga, Tambov, Ivanovo, Nizhny Novgorod, Tula, Lipetsk, and Voronezh. Arms producers and manufacturers of components for materials for munitions have been heavily featured in Ukraine's wide-reaching and ambitious target list. Kyiv Post analysis reveals Ukrainian drones flew almost to the Ural Mountains into Russia's Tatarstan region to hit a drone factory in the region capital of Yelabuga. A drone strike reportedly hit the Shahed drone factory in Yelabuga, Tatarstan, marking another attack on a key military facility located in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone. The plant produces Shahed-type kamikaze drones used in daily attacks against Ukraine and has previously been struck multiple times since its construction in 2023. Footage recorded by local residents shows the trail of a surface-to-air missile launched from the area of the facility. Ukrainian telegram channel Exilenova Plus claimed that preliminarily there were several impacts at different points of the plant based on geolocation of available footage. Ukrainian drones attacked Tula workshops operated by the state-owned Russian arms giant Rosneft, which produces rocket artillery systems, air-to-air missiles, heavy flamethrower system vehicles, and incendiary munitions, according to independent Russian news reports, setting it and an adjacent electrical substation on fire. Drones attacked the Azot chemical plant near the town of Novomoskovsk in Tula Oblast, some 480 kilometers from Ukraine. Ukrainian drones on Thursday night also targeted defense manufacturing firms in Russia's Moscow and Orenburg regions. Ukrainian military spokespersons said drones had struck targets in the Bryansk and Vladimir regions. There are noticeably more foreigners in the Ukrainian army, which indicates an improvement in the recruitment of foreign volunteers. This was reported by a senior lieutenant of the Ukrainian Defense Forces with the call sign Alex, who runs the blog Officer on Telegram. Either they improved the recruitment of foreigners in a certain way or simply introduced other recruitment methods, but I want to admit that there is a certain result. This is an increase in the number of structural units of foreigners in several brigades of the Defense Forces of Ukraine at once. This really cannot but please, but all this should have been done back in 2022, and the effect, frankly speaking, would have been much greater then, he wrote. At the same time, the officer notes that in the context of recruiting foreign volunteers, there is still work to be done. In particular, he believes it is necessary to launch a full-fledged advertising campaign within the limits of what is permitted and create recruiting centers for this. The military man noted that Ukraine should make the path to the army as simple as possible for those foreigners who have expressed a desire to serve in the armed forces of Ukraine. And accordingly, certain social guarantees, benefits on the territory of Ukraine and other payments should be there, because some guys who have been fighting since 2022 still cannot obtain Ukrainian citizenship, although they deserve it much more than the poor guys from Tiza, the officer added. As media wrote, the Ukrainian armed forces include entire units made up of foreign citizens who have expressed a desire to defend Europe from Russian invasion. The most well-known in this context are the Georgian, Belarusian, Chechen and Russian units. But citizens of many other countries are also fighting for Ukraine, not only European ones, but even from the other side of the earth. For example, there are many Colombians defending Ukraine as part of the 2nd International Legion. This was stated by its commander, Major Alexander Yakimovich, in an interview with Hromadski Radio. He explained where these people get their motivation to fight in Ukraine. Yakimovich noted that Latin America is now suffering greatly and suffered before from communism, and it has historically happened that they are fighting it. It is not the same level of struggle, but nevertheless, they suffered greatly from communism throughout their history, because the Soviet Union tried very hard to influence that region to resist the USA. And this, of course, left its mark on history and on the understanding of these people, the military man noted. According to him, in this regard, they understand perfectly well what freedom is and why they are in Ukraine.